We're very close to both Western Uranium, which is, they've got their Sunday complex just to the southeast of us. You've got LaSalle just to the west of us, and you've got White Mesa Mill to the south west of us. So, we think we're in a really good jurisdiction with a very good infrastructure.
All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is William Hunter. He is the CEO of Uranium American Resources. Bill, good to see you. How are you?
Good, Steve. How you been?
I'm doing very well. Thanks very much. And I know you've got some pretty exciting news on. We'll talk about that in just a second, but maybe give people a bit of background on the company itself. It's a company that's really moving forward here.
Yeah, absolutely. So Uranium American Resources is a shell that we took over a couple of years ago, and what we've been working on is really addressing the U.S. uranium market. As you well know, over the last 20 years, the U.S. has seen decline in production in uranium, and so we had gotten an agreement to purchase three assets, which I think we'll probably talk about a little bit later, in the Western United States, to be, one of the next producers of uranium going forward.
Yeah, we'll talk about those in a second. But to do that, you needed to raise some capital, and you announced that you've done that with some institutional investment, $3.5 million in total. So tell me a little bit about the process of finally getting to this point.
Yeah, it's been a good process. We went out about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago to really start looking for investment, and we started talking to one investor after a conference we went to, and it's been fantastic. They're big believers in U.S. uranium as well as just U.S. production. Given where our assets are, they were big believers in the area, and so they basically said, "Hey, let's get on board with the company and go from there."
And this now gives you the capital to complete the acquisition of Jag Minerals. And that's the key part of this is, as you mentioned, those are the assets you're looking at. So tell me what you're able to complete here and really what the future holds.
Yeah, so we're able to complete. I mean, we announced the transaction a little over a year ago. It's an $8.5 million acquisition of three assets in Utah, Wyoming, and Colorado. The 8.5 million is made up of $6.5 million of stock that the selling shareholders are taking, $6.5 million of stock, and $2 million in cash. So this 3.5 million will really allow us to get that transaction closed, really kind of reset the company, and start doing drilling at the first asset, which we've talked about, which is Stateline, which I know we'll probably talk about in a second. But this really gives us the ability to take that forward.
Yeah, let's talk about it right now. As a matter of fact, what are you looking at drilling wise? Where are you looking on the project, and really what stage is this project at?
Yeah, so these are exploration stage assets, although I will say they're less exploration stage than many. All of these assets have either A, had production, or B, had resource estimates in the past. When we first started looking at it, the main asset, Marysville, or the largest asset, Marysville, was really what was most exciting because it had a 3 million pound resource on it back in the late 2000s. It was a big open pittable asset. But once we got looking at it, Stateline, which is really, we call it Stateline because it's the state line of Colorado and Utah, were 19 previously producing assets. They were small producers. They've got, slope access, which has been great. We've been able to get into that slope access. They previously produced uranium in grades that were not only acceptable, were pretty good, as well as had greater than 1% vanadium. So when we really started looking at Stateline, we said, what we need to do is we have a pretty good idea of, where the mineralogy looks, but what we're going to do is we're going to get underground and start doing some drilling at those 19 assets and progress those towards production. So that's really where the dollars are going to go. We're going to get out and do some geophysical work. We've been talking to a drilling company who we believe can get over there pretty quickly, and really get those assets defined so that we can get underground. We're very close to both Western Uranium, which is, they've got their Sunday complex just to the southeast of us. You've got LaSalle just to the west of us. you've got White Mesa Mill to the south west of us. So, we think we're in a really good jurisdiction with a very good infrastructure.
Yeah. And Bill, is it you mentioned the importance of uranium, and we've all talked about in the past the importance of it, and especially having a North American supply of it and the importance of that. Is that really the speed factor here of trying to get yourself to a place where you can start producing as quick as possible?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure everybody out there has seen a number of the announcements. The large tech firms are really getting into the nuclear field because they need additional electricity for data centers, for cryptocurrency, for all these things. Um, but there's no real reliable supply of uranium, larger reliable supply of uranium in the United States. So that's really been the focus. You've seen the administration, actually, the administration is in Pittsburgh today, talking to the tech companies as well as the energy companies around this very topic. I mean, the biggest example is 3 Mile Island is they're gonna resume the second reactor because I forget if it's Microsoft. I think it's Microsoft's going to end up taking 100% of that power. So it's a fantastic time to be in the industry, and the need is there.
Well, congratulations on the financing. Look forward to hearing more about the work that's being done at the project as well. Bill, thanks so much. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good seeing you, Steve. Thanks a lot.
All right, there's William Hunter. He's the CEO of Uranium American Resources.